Hello everybody, it's Dave Segrini again with my week 7 assignment, a demonstration speech. What I'm going to demonstrate to you today is how to tie 2 fishing knots, the single uni knot and a Palomar knot. I've been fishing pretty much my whole life. Ever since I can remember, I've had a fishing pole in my hand, and I have a lot of experience tying many different knots. Now the single uni knot and the Palomar knot are 2 of my favorite knots to use because not only are they easy to tie, but they're actually very strong. I've really never had much issues with either knot. Myself, though, I prefer the Palomar knot, which will be the second one that I'll be demonstrating to you. But the single uni knot is very strong as well, and that's the one that my son likes to use because he finds it easier for himself to tie. Now the first knot that I'll be showing you is the single uni knot. Since it's almost impossible, I've already tried with the fishing line and the hook for you to be able to see on the camera. What I'm going to do is use this as the hook and some rope as the fishing line. Now, remember whenever you are tying your hook to the fishing line to be careful because it is easy to get the hook stuck in your finger and in your hand. Now sometimes they're almost hard to get out and you have to go to the hospital. So if you're going to be doing this and you haven't really fished and you're going to try to tie these knots, be careful when you're tying. So the first knot I will demonstrate is the single uni knot. What you're going to do is have your hook bring the fishing line through. So it's kind of like that. You're going to leave about 6 to 8 inches on the other end here, and then you're going to bring it around, almost creating like a single line. Then with that end, the single line right here, you're going to bring it over here. It's going to be kind of like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to wrap this around 5 times. So 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So it's going to end up being like that. Now sometimes with this demonstration, this knot is going to slide all the way down to the hook. Sometimes though, whenever you're using fishing line, whenever you go to tie this knot, it doesn't slide all the way down to the hook. So what you have to do is actually wet it to ensure that it slides. But for this demonstration here, and even whenever you are tying it, once you get wrapped around that 5 times, you're going to pull it down. Like I stated, for this demonstration using a rope, since it's a little bit stronger than a fishing line, it pulls all the way down. As you can see, you have this braid here, which makes it a pretty strong knot. But usually whenever you're using fishing line, when you go to pull it tight, it ends up stopping about right here. So what you have to do is wet it, and then keep pulling, which will bring it down to that same spot right there. This braid here makes it a very strong knot. But the one thing that I don't like about this knot is it's single under here. That's why I like to use a different knot called the Palomar knot, where it doubles up around here. It is a pretty strong knot. Also, once you're done tying this knot, it's a good idea to have a pair of nail clippers or fishing pliers to cut off this piece of end hanging here. For this demonstration, I will use a pair of scissors since I'm using rope. Now it's important whenever you're cutting a knot that you want to leave a little bit hanging off of there. That way it doesn't come undone. If you cut it too close, you got to pull on here, it could end up coming undone. What you have here is a pretty strong knot that should hold up no matter what fish you're catching. Now normally you'd have to cut this knot off your fishing line. But for here, since I'm using rope, it's a little bit easier to untie. So what I'm going to do is untie this and then get ready to teach you the second knot, which is one that I really like to use and actually continue to use to this day, or else I learned how to use it. Going to do it the same way. This will be your fishing hook, your fishing line. Now to start this one off, there's 2 different ways to do it, depending on how good you are at getting the fishing line to go through your hook. You either bring it through the line like that, and again, you want to keep about 6 to 8 inches out that way, but up, and then you're going to bring it around like this, which ends up doubling it up. Now the other way you can do this, like I stated, depending on how good you are at putting the fishing line through the hook, is just double up your string. Again, you want to have this layer right here, have stick about 8 inches out. Sometimes it's really hard though whenever you're trying to double up the string to get it through the hook. So sometimes it's easier just to do it the other way. Either way, whenever you start, both ways it's going to look like this. Now the next step in this line, as you can see, you can move the hook around. You want to have it about the center. And you're going to twist it a little bit like that. Your fishing line is going to look like this. Still going to have that loop right here. Then you're going to bring that loop. Once you twist it around like that, you're going to bring that loop around like you're tying your knot. Now what's important is once you get to this step, you do not want to tie it tight right now because the next step will be almost impossible to do. So the step that you're going to do after this is you have your hook, you're going to slide the hook through the hoop right here. And this is the reason why you didn't want to tie it tight at first. Then you're going to start pulling it tight. And once you have it tight, what you have is a very strong fishing knot here. As you can see, it's doubled right here, which keeps it very strong. And this knot is very durable. I've caught huge fish on it using this knot without the string ever breaking. You need to do the same thing as you do with the single unit knot. You have the piece hanging off right here. You want to tie it. And you want to leave that little bit hanging off there because you don't want to tie it too close. Give a chance for that knot to come off. Either way, both knots are very good to use. This is my preferred method, using the Palomar knot. As you can see here, it's a very strong knot, and the only way you're going to get that undone is by cutting it. It's almost impossible to untie with a fishing line. I really hope you enjoyed my demonstration speech on the single uni knot and the Palomar knot. Both knots are very good to use. The single uni knot is easier for my son to use, and he really enjoys using that one. I enjoy the Palomar knot. I've been using that one for many years and really haven't had any issues with it. Thank you for your time.